Hey, Trina Weaves here with Pokemon Go news this week. You may have noticed from today that Pikachu... We're seeing reports of a new feature rollout in the form of Team Rocket takeovers of Pokestops. Now, unfortunately, I haven't seen any myself. There have been some reports in my town. There have been 2 reports in my town. But by the time we actually managed to drive out there, they were gone. So I can tell you that the Team Rocket Pokestop takeovers are timed. And the timer is not long. I mean, it's not like 2 minutes. It's probably maybe around 20 at least. But then it might be like spawns and some are 2 minutes and some are 20. Who knows? It's all still being collated. So, looking at the Silverhead subreddit, which is my source for so much information, we have a gameplay video here, and I'll put that up. That is from Reddit user Hello Lowry. So the way to recognize these Pokestops is the cube above the Pokestop when you're far away jiggles and is slightly darker. When you go to the Pokestop that's affected, you'll see a darker haze? I guess a darker fade over the Pokestop. And then when you go into it, you'll see a Team Rocket grunt. Battle that grunt and you'll see that it's fighting with a weird smoky Pokemon, which is being called a shadow Pokemon. Once you defeat it, then the grunt will leave, and he will leave one of his Pokemon behind, which you can then catch with Premier Balls like you do with raids. And then once you actually catch the Pokemon, you can opt to purify it. Again, according to this video, purifying the Pokemon will mean that it gains a significant amount of CP, it'll cost less to power up, and it will learn an exclusive charged attack. So this might be good, or it might be terrible. I don't know, I haven't seen these attacks. But as someone who is in Pokemon to catch everything, it is yet another thing to try and get. Plus they look cool because they have red eyes and smoke. If you don't purify them. If you do purify them, they just look normal, so whatever. So, new feature. Go look for weird Pokestops. Be ready to battle. Oh, also, there are rumors that it's level 40 only. Possibly that's because maybe it was being rolled out level by level, but I do know people below level 40 who have seen them and participated in the battles, so it's not limited by level. With regards to the IVs, they don't seem to be limited in the way that research IVs are limited. Basically, I know someone who got a Pokemon and one of the IVs was 5. Whereas, you know, if you get hatches, or if you get raids, or if you get Pokemon from research, the lowest IV can be 10. That does not apply here. What other questions might there be? And when I say might there be, I mean I'm looking through the Silverhead thread, which I will link below, as I always do. There are people saying they've seen one at 11:15 local time, so it may not be limited by the raid hours. And there are dex entries for purified Pokemon. And for those of you who do play with the sound on, apparently the affected stops make a different noise when you tap them. So, Team Rocket takeover. I guess this explains the giant balloon they had at Dortmund. And hopefully, I will find some tomorrow. You may have noticed from today that Pikachu with a straw hat with a red ribbon around it has been appearing in the game. This is actually a collaboration between Pokemon Go and One Piece, which is a Japanese manga series, which also has films and animation and stuff like that. So this is actually an initiative to support the Kumamoto Revival Project. So in 2016, there was an earthquake in the Kumamoto region. Eiichiro Oda, and I apologize if I'm butchering any of these Japanese names. Oda, the creator of One Piece, is using this to support the Kumamoto Revival Project. Today, 22nd July, is the 22nd anniversary of the beginning of One Piece, and it's also the 3rd anniversary of Pokemon Go in Japan. So they've come together to try and support the Kumamoto revitalization. The way they're doing that is by creating a special Pokestop in the Kumamoto region, as well as releasing this Pikachu and releasing a Straw Hat for your avatar in the game. The Straw Hat itself is a reference to the Straw Hat Pirates, who are the main group in One Piece, which I will be honest, I know very little about. I've never read it, I've never seen it. I did play the One Piece Pirate Warriors Musu game on the PS3 way back when, which is pretty good. But yeah, Straw Hat Pikachu, yay! You cannot evolve Straw Hat Pikachu into Straw Hat Raichu, and you also will not be finding Straw Hat Pichu in the game. Over on Reddit, a user called Wonderful has done a very nice infographic covering the events that are coming up in the next few weeks. As you can see, we just had Mudkip Community Day. How did that go for everyone? For me, it was amazing. On Sundays at 7 o'clock On Sundays at 7 o'clock I have a Call of Cthulhu role-playing game, which means I can't actually do the full 3 hours when Pokemon Community Day runs on Sundays. But I still managed to get 10 shiny Mudkip. Completely forgot to evolve them to Swampert, so I didn't get the special move on those, though I did get it on some others, so you know. It's fine. They're cute and pink, and shinies are all I really care about these days since I realized that I'm not interested in PvP. So it was great. Gonna keep doing this. Coming up, I've just talked about the One Piece Pikachu thing. Next up, 31st July, Armored Mewtwo is going to leave. Armored Mewtwo is currently in Tier 5 raids, if you hadn't noticed. And that is actually related to Pokemon Sword and Shield, which is the mainline Pokemon game that is coming up this winter. Or summer, depending on where you are. November. The next Community Day is actually in 2 weeks, and they haven't announced what that's going to be yet. But I'm presuming that's because the Yokohama Go Fest is happening the following weekend, so that's why they're so close to each other. And alongside the Go Fest, of course, we're going to have the Global Challenges again, which will hopefully, presumably, result in Suicune Shiny Community Day coming up on the 17th of August. And a whole bunch of Stardust pieces, so this is the one that we need to go hard on when we're doing lots of research for the Global Challenge, because Stardust is everything. Even though I know I just said that I don't do PvP, so I don't really power up Pokemon. But as a collector, the long-term goal for me, and obviously this is extremely long-term, is to get my entire living Pokedex to level 40. So that is going to be expensive. So I need Stardust. In app news, they have completely overhauled the appraisal system, and it is so good now. If you haven't used it in ages, this is where you go into a Pokemon, press the menu button, press appraise, and your trainer tells you a whole bunch of stuff that didn't really tell you what your Pokemon meant. I actually have a video that goes through what that used to be, which I'm going to have to redo now for this whole new system, and I'll do that in the next couple of weeks. But I'll just quickly talk through it now. So in our Pokemon screen, press the menu button, press appraise. I'm Team Valor, so this is Candela, my team leader. Hi Weesh, let's take a look at your Pikachu, shall we? Your Pikachu is so tiny, I almost didn't notice it. I don't know why she feels the need to say that. Why don't you comment on its natty hat? This Pikachu is terrible. I mean, no, it's not good. It's a terrible attacker. So when it comes to Pokemon IVs, and again, if you don't know what IVs are, I will explain this fully in another video. Or you can watch the current mostly out of date video, which is called Deep Dive into Pokemon, and I'll link that, which explains IVs. In a nutshell, every Pokemon has 3 sets of individual values that go from 0 to 15. Where you used to have to kind of work it out from the sentences that the trainers said, now this is an actual precise counter of, even though it doesn't have numbers, it is a precise indicator of what your Pokemon IVs are. So the attack on this Pikachu is 4, defense is 6, and HP is 14. As you can see, the dividers are 5, 5, and 5. And overall, that makes it a 1-star Pokemon. And the stars are interesting because you can now use the search terms. So you can search for 1-star, and that brings up my Pikachu and a whole bunch of other 1-star Pokemon. If I search for 2-star, then I get the slightly better ones, and you can see I have some 70% Pokemon here, which are pretty good. But if we get a 3-star, that's where we get the very good ones, which are 80 or above. And you can search for 4-star, and that's where we get the 100%, the ones whose IVs are 15, 15, and 15. And you can search for 0-star, which is the terrible ones, and look at all my shiny Mudkip there. 0-star is super useful, particularly on Community Day, because instead of having to appraise everything by hand, you can just type 0-star and trade all the Mudkip or all the Community Day Pokemon that you don't care about. And the final big update we have is a massive change to the way charge moves are treated in battle. You can see these if you do PvP, or if you're not really into PvP, you can see them by doing the trainer battles. The team leader battles. So instead of the frantic tapping, we have these mini games where I need to swipe to try and hit as many of the flying thingies as possible. So it keeps things a little more interesting. That is all the news I have for you today. Thank you very much for watching. If you like Pokemon Go news or Pokemon Go tutorials or Wizards Unite tutorials or news, subscribe to the channel. If you enjoy this video, hit the thumbs up. Get the notifications by hitting the bell. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.